Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Shop. I'd like to apologize right off the beginning, right off the top, because I tried uploading this a little while ago and it uploaded just fine, but there was no sound. We're having some issues here. Okay, so this is my next attempt, and I know that there's sound now because I looked. Isn't that what an easy solution, huh? Just look at your software once in a while. Kitty cat here that wants to say hi, but not on screen. Anyway. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who is subscribing. We've got a handful of new subscribers here, and it's wonderful. I always say it. Some people are sick of it. I'm sorry, but I am so grateful for each and every one of you who subscribe, and for each and every one of you who take just a little bit of time out of your day to watch my silly little videos. Okay, so we are on episode number 4 of albums you should know about. Some of you know about this album. This band has an expansive discography from 1964 to 1994. A lot of albums, a lot of great albums. This was the start of, I think, the start of their most prolific period. From about 19, well, I mean, from 1967 through about 1970, they put out some fantastic albums. They put out fantastic albums all over the place. I've been listening to, it's the Kinks, by the way, and the album in question is this one. See if I can get the glare. It's a glossy, not a glossy cover, but it's a metallic-y, shiny kind of cover. So if I face it too close to the sun, you get glare. But something else by the Kinks. Been listening to the Kinks a lot lately. I don't quite know why, but this album I just keep going back to. I just constantly do. This album was issued in September of 1967 in the UK and January of 1968 in the US. In the UK, it was on Pi. In the US, it was on Reprise. It didn't do all that great in either country. Now, in America, that's easily understood because they were banned from playing in America and they were banned from performing even on TV in America. So they weren't getting any help from anybody. And so it was easy to understand why this album kind of it made it its highest ranking was in the it was in what was the um, Cashbox. That's what it was. I'm sorry, Cashbox made it into the 80s, but it didn't even make it into the top 100 of the Billboard um, album charts. The UK pressing did a little better, but it only made it into the 30s of the UK chart. So it really wasn't a hugely successful for what the Kinks were used to doing. Now, I looked up why in the UK was this not that successful. And one article I read said, "Oh, it's because there were a lot of value priced UK Kinks albums out at the time. They were reissuing a lot of value price stuff, and it just kind of hurt the sales." I think the reason that this was kind of hurt was because the two big singles off of this was me speaking good English were released prior to the album being released. I'm talking about "Death of the Clown" or "Death of a Clown," Dave Davies solo single, and Waterloo Sunset. Both great songs, both on this album, but both have been hits and have expired their time in the charts by the time this came out. Uh, Still, though, this is a fantastic listen. This is in the middle of psychedelia, right? In 1967, you get the Stones, right about the same time as the Stones released their Satanic Majesty's Request. You had Sergeant Pepper in June, right? Everybody's just, how far into psychedelia can you go? The Kinks were like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to kind of do this Baroque, very British sounding album. There are some elements of psychedelia in this. Right from the start, the opening track, David Watts, the beginning of it has this really cool kind of um, backwards kind of intro kind of count in, which is psychedelic. Another song on here that is really, I don't know if it's psychedelic, it's just it's probably the oddest track on this album, and yet I think it's becoming one of my favorites. And it's "Lazy Old Sun." The lyrics are very dissonant. And Ray Davies even kind of sculpts his voice to fit where he's coming from. I don't know how to explain it, but then it gets into the chorus and it just switches right into something very melodic and very easy to very accessible. Then it goes back to this kind of dissonant kind of just almost out of tune. You have to listen to it. I had to listen to it a couple of times before I went, I get it. I see what he's doing, and this is really kind of cool. This whole album is one of those, um, maybe you need to listen to it more than once to get it, especially if you're an American. I don't mean to bash us, but um, anyway, this is a fantastic album. It's readily available on vinyl, new presses. It's on CD. This happens to be for all of you geeks like me. Wonder what pressing this is. This is from the mono box set. So this is a mono pressing. It came out back in I think 2018 or something like that. Wonderful, wonderful sounding pressing in mono. But you can get this in stereo, and I the stereo mix is wonderful too. I think it's really wonderful. Finding original pressings of these is a little difficult, a little expensive, especially the U.S. pressings, first pressings. This was repressed in the U.S., later on Reprise, and those are still kind of expensive. But an original first pressing of this on Reprise is quite expensive. So have fun if that's what you want to find. If you're unsure, as I always say with these albums, if you're unsure, am I going to like this? I don't know if I want to spend money. Stream, just stream it. And this is actually, I believe, even available to listen to. I think people have posted this entire album on YouTube, so you don't have to pay nothing. And I know you have YouTube because you're watching me right now. Isn't that amazing? Huh? All right, so that's records or albums you should know about. This is episode number 4, and the album is The Kinks, Something Else. All righty. As always, my friends, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Hey, share with your enemies. Let everybody know that Scotty's Record Shop is back in business. I'd really appreciate it. It makes the old man happy. I know I say that every time, but it really does. Every time I look and see that, oh, I got another subscriber. This is really cool. I like this stuff, and I really appreciate all of you taking the time to watch this. And as always, my friends, until next time, peace and love.